Machina Labs, an AI and robotics intelligence manufacturing company, recently awarded a qualification contract from Lockheed Martin to build components for its Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile program. The parts use an integrated set of advanced technology and precision laser welding, marking the first time one of Machina's missile components has qualified for a defense missile system. Joining me now, the man behind it all, Machina Labs CEO Edward Mehr. Edward, great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This is a big deal for your company. Tell us about Machina Labs. What specific components are you making, and where are they being used?
Yeah, this was 4 years in the making. We have been partnering with Lockheed Martin and bringing completely new manufacturing technology to market. We're going to be working on metal structures, specifically fuel tank components of the JASSM defense program, missile program. This is a program that has been significantly depleted in the recent conflict in Iran. I think somewhere from 20 to 30% depleted. So we need to be producing at 4 or 5 times rate of what we have been in the past. So we're excited to contribute to that.
Well, the president has been talking about this need for mass production, whether it be drones or other components. Can you scale this up and mass produce?
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 facilities right now in Los Angeles. We're deploying the 3rd one. This is going to be 250,000 square feet of shop floor. We're deploying 50 of our systems, which is completely new manufacturing technology. This is not replication of what happens in the 50s and 60s. This is completely new manufacturing technology enabled by robotics and AI that gives you significantly more agile way to make these products. Yeah, I think the goal is that we can scale up and do thousands of these products a year.
Do you have the components and the critical minerals that you need to actually develop these? We're talking about critical minerals all morning long. China is dominating in the space. President Trump's trying to get that critical mineral production and refinement here in America.
Yeah, absolutely. I think not only the material that goes into this, but also the processes that can get us to production faster. That's where our focus is. When we go to meetings with prime partners, we're looking at 10 times to 50 times faster production rates, right? We can bring products into feasibility meetings as opposed to waiting 1 year, year and a half of building up a facility and get to production after that.
Well, the president wants a $1.5 trillion defense budget next year. Of course, there's a supplemental NDAA in the works right now. What will your role at Machina Labs be in these new opportunities for defense? For example, are you going to be part of the Golden Dome?
Yeah, absolutely. So all kinds of metal structures is what we're focused on. We're working with missiles today. We have some programs on the hypersonic side, which is significantly going to be used on the Golden Dome. We're working on drone airframes. We actually about to deploy a facility that's going to be specifically focused on manufacturing of drones. And we're also a commercial company, right? So we're working with Toyotas of the world. So this means that if the defense need goes up and down, it doesn't really matter to us. We can allocate the same resources to the commercial market.
So let me ask you how you're doing that, because earlier this year you closed at $124 million in Series C funding, most of that going toward the new 200,000 square foot facility, which will open in L.A. later this year. You're aiming to scale production of defense weaponry using the Robo-Craftsman cell tech. Edward, how does that money get used? And tell us about this new facility in L.A.
Yeah, absolutely. The new facility, we haven't yet determined the location. We have 2 facilities in LA. This new location might be either one of the 2 states we're looking at, so we're going to announce that a little bit later. But yeah, this is going to be our largest facility yet. We're going to deploy 50 of the robotic craftsmen, the system that we deploy in this facility, and it allows us to manufacture a few thousand of advanced metal structures. Think missile fuel tanks, drone bodies in this facility.
This is really exciting what you're doing right now, Edward, because you're making the case that it's not just a changing of weaponry and new items coming in. You think AI will redefine how America manufactures defense and how we manufacture aerospace and automotive parts. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, President Trump put this significant focus on reindustrialization. And I think reindustrialization can take 2 forms. We can either go after and try to replicate what has happened in China in the past few decades. And I think that's a losing game. What we are doing is using new technologies, using robotics, using AI, advanced software to jump ahead of where China is today. 10 years from now, what China wants to go, we want to be there today so that we can win this race long term.
Well, there was a time when Mark Andreessen used to say things like software eats everything. Now I think AI is eating software. So, I mean, talk to us about that, because you're making a bet that AI will do for factories what cloud computing did for data centers.
Absolutely. I think, AI, Mark Andreessen said software eats the world. I think AI in factory is going to build it now, right? So this is, the factories we're building are very different than a traditional factory. This is a factory that in the morning, it can make missile components, and in the afternoon, it can switch to make drones. At night, it can switch to make commercial products like automotive panels, right? This is something that has never done before. It gives you this flexibility to create more design variety, which is what the ultimate goal is in manufacturing, being able to produce a lot of different types of parts. And AI and robotics is what enabling that.
So today's factory is much different than a traditional factory that we were talking about 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A traditional factory is usually custom built. It can do one product at scale, but you cannot change it. And that's why manufacturing has been very slow in terms of speed of innovation, because the change of, the speed of change is not as fast. With our factories, that completely changes. We're looking at 50x increase in the speed of getting a new product into market.
I mean, for a long time, I was, railing on the fact that the U.S. buys drones from China. Right. I mean, the fact that our military is buying drones from our number one adversary, being DJI. How reliant is America today on components, on products, weapons, whatever, from China?
I think we still have a way to go. We are on the way, though. I think America is like a fourth quarter nation, so we're right getting to the last bits where we need to catch up, and I think these new technologies will get us there.
And when you're talking about today's new factory, does it include the same number of people? Or are those factories automated? And what about those jobs?
I think a lot of jobs we're bringing back are the ones that has left America a while ago, right? So these factories were not here, that these jobs were not here. We have more than what we have hired in our company today in terms of job openings, right? So we are hiring more. And I think the good thing is that these new jobs are going to have much better quality of life. We're looking at people who are, people think of factories at these dirty environments that's greasy, like the Charlie Chaplin view of what the factory looks like. But these actually look like labs. These are blue-collar workers working with iPads and robots, and the quality of job is getting closer to the white-collar job, right? So completely new jobs, and we're hiring a lot of people.
Do you think this acceleration and this mass production sort of sentiment that we're in right now is because of global conflicts, because the world has changed?
I think partially because of that, and partially I think we realize that if you don't manufacture long term, we're going to lose capability to actually defend ourselves, capability to build products near communities that are consuming it and be very relevant to them. So yeah, I think both socially and the global conflict supercharged this.
And President Trump sees the world the way it is, realistically, with all of these adversaries on the march and the need to actually keep up and keep one step ahead. Edward, it's great to have you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be watching the company.
I appreciate it.
Machina Labs. All right, we'll be right back. You're watching Mornings with Maria live on Fox Business. Stay with us.